Knowing Java is not enough anymore. Knowing Spring Boot is not enough anymore. And I'm going to be honest with you. If your plan is to build another CRUD application, put on your CV and hope companies will notice you, you're probably going to struggle in 2026. Not because Java is dead. Java is not dead. In fact, Java is one of the most important backend engineering languages in the world. Banks use it, fintechs use it, large systems still run on Java. AWS, Netflix, Google, Apple, and one of my students is doing an internship at Apple, and he said that they're actually using Java in production, Java in Spring Boot. Now, the thing is, the way companies hire Java developers has changed. A few years ago, if you knew Java, Spring Boot, SQL, and had one or two projects, that might have been enough to get interviews. But now, AI can generate code. Tutorials are everywhere. Thousands of beginners are building the same to-do app, the same student management system, and applying for the same junior role. So the question companies are asking is no longer, do you know Java? The real question is, can we trust you to work on a real system? Can you understand the requirements? Can you design a proper API? Can you work with a database, modeling, ERD? And most important, can you explain your decisions in an interview? That's what's separating someone who knows Java from someone who's actually hireable as a Java developer. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I would learn Java in 2026 if my goal was not just to watch tutorials, collect certificates, or copy projects. The problem is not really Java. Many of you understand Java, but what you are struggling really is to demonstrate that you can work on a real backend system. So Yusuf, one of my students, he recently got a job and his first task was to fine-tune a property. So he was like, Nelson, I know how to build APIs, I know how to connect to databases, etc. But this task, I'm finding it so hard. And the reason is that it wasn't really used to work on a real production system. That is the issue, because when you go for interviews, you actually struggle and you don't know what to say. Now, every year I say this, Java is dying, Java is too old, Java is too verbose. And I'll be honest with you, it's all lies. One of my students is doing an internship at Apple, and guess which language he's using on the back end? Java. Guess which framework? Spring Boot. So Java, it's used throughout the industry, fintechs, big corporations, and a lot of the Fortune 500 companies. So for example, Netflix, majority of their backend is written in Java, and Spring Boot, Kafka for example, is written in Java. Java is not really the issue. The issue is that many of you don't have the experience of working on real backend systems. So when you go for interviews or someone is asking you what experience do you have or can you explain this, you don't know exactly what to say because you don't have that experience. Companies today, they're not really looking for someone that knows the syntax and knows the basics of Java. They're looking for an engineer. And I keep on saying this to all my students in the academy. You need to be an engineer and remove this mindset of, oh, I only work with JavaScript. Oh, I only work with C#. No, whatever language, whatever problem you're given, make sure that you are an engineer. You are someone that can build APIs, design the database, secure the backend, design the entire system, understand the entire CI/CD workflow, understand how it's being deployed, understand the cloud architecture, how things are connected, and obviously Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, microservices. And it can be quite overwhelming, but you need to be in a position where you demonstrate that you know all of these skills. I know it seems so difficult, but trust me, it is not. So once you have a plan, I can guarantee you that you can be a well-rounded engineer in all of these different technologies. So the goal is to become someone that the company will trust, someone that can explain the technical decisions. And I see this quite often where engineers, they don't want to progress and they're too scared of explain the decisions. And why did you do this change? Oh, because the senior or the tech lead told me to do it. No, make sure that you own whatever feature is given to you. Don't be someone that just implements an API and then off you go. I remember in my time, I used to own the feature literally from the Jira ticket all the way to deploying the feature and also maintaining the feature, right? Building all the observability and metrics around it to make sure that if anything goes wrong, right? Because sometimes we used to be on call, then you know exactly how the system works. You see, there's a real difference between someone that knows how to build a simple API versus someone who's actually an engineer. Now, obviously, there are tons of things that you should be learning, as I've been saying, but what you need is just a roadmap. If I also start over, I would start with Java, and here I would literally learn how to use Java and arrays. So the backend of how to store data by just using arrays. Now the reason is many of these different data structures, they're built upon arrays. And this is exactly what we teach inside of the academy. Then after you fully master Java, like completely, then you should really be moving into Spring Boot. So here, learn how to build some APIs and then understand exactly like everything that Spring Boot has to offer. So once you finish Spring Boot, then I would move into databases, and with it, you basically pick one database, Postgres or MySQL. Don't pick a NoSQL database, just pick a relational database. And then once you learn a database, then plug Spring Data JPA on top of it to simplify the way that you connect and interact with the underlying database. Cool. Now, once you finish Java, Spring Boot, databases, Spring Data JPA, time for a project. Now, the goal here is that you don't want to get too much information and just learn, and then forget everything. Because the way that you're going to learn is by doing projects. And literally, this is the framework that you should be using if you want to be successful these days. So once you have your first project, then LinkedIn. So very important that you start to share your journey. Right, so I've been learning how to use Java, for example, with Spring Boot, and I've built this project. Now, the key here is that with LinkedIn, then you start to be more consistent. So the more you learn, then you post on LinkedIn, and everything that you learn, you can start to post on LinkedIn. And over time, you see that you start to gain followers, which is exactly the strategy that we implemented with Yusuf. So now I think he's got probably, I can't remember if it's 4,000 or 5,000 followers, but that really helped him when he went for interviews. And believe it or not, interviewers will say, yeah, I know you from LinkedIn. Or recruiters, I know you from LinkedIn. When he went for gatherings or events, oh, you are that guy that teaches about Spring Boot and Java. And with this, you start to build some credibility, and more important, you start to feel more confident. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is the game right now. Learn, build, exposure. Cool. Once you post your first project, then it's time for you to learn about testing. So testing is very, very important. So unit testing, mocking, and integration testing. Then you move on to Docker. So here you want to learn about Docker, how to package your application. And then from here, you take your Docker image and then you learn how to run a container from it. From here, you want to actually deploy this into a cloud provider, i.e. most likely you're going to be using AWS, which is the most popular one out there, and it's the one that I recommend. Now, this entire process, you actually do it manually. Then you learn exactly how to automate, right? Because then it just becomes too boring. The next thing that I suggest is for you to learn the basics of security. So Spring Security, it simplifies a lot of things when it comes to securing your backend applications. So definitely you should learn Spring Boot. Cool. Then moving on into Terraform, we've got microservices, then obviously the whole AI engineering. When it comes to AI engineering, is very important because you want to be someone who actually understands what these models, Claude or Gemini, whatever you're using, you want to understand exactly what is given you, because you want to make sure that if these models, they give you some code, are you in a position of saying this is good or this is bad? What is the benefit of this? And I've been using it for some time now, and majority of the times I'm challenging these models and I'm saying, but we could do this, or why not this? And it's always saying, you're absolutely right. The key here is for you to use AI as your assistant. So you need to be the senior engineer that the AI reports to. Even though they has way more knowledge than you, but you own the outcome. And this is the most important thing. And just a story, Yusuf, he went for an interview where they gave him a task with AI. Then the interviewers, they were asking him, why this, why that? They were asking him a bunch of questions. And because he had an offer for a different company, he didn't study much for the interview. So he let AI do his thing. He went to the interview and it was challenging. It was really challenging because they were asking questions. Why, using this code on this other place because of duplication. He was just literally decoding the code on the fly, and it was challenging. So the goal really is for you to become an engineer. And I know that the roadmap can seem so complex, so difficult, but I'm here to help you. So if you need any help whatsoever, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to help you to become a successful engineer. Whether you want to become an engineer, whether you're a student and need some guidance, or you're a junior trying to move to mid to senior engineer, then we have a community for you. Right, I'm gonna leave it here. This is all for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.